Day 5.
So I got my hat.
Mesa Verde, Colorado. We think that's Mesa Verde. We don't know yet. We're going to the visitor center. We're going to learn all about the Anasazi Indians before going to Four Corners, and then the Puebla, and then Lake Powell. Welcome to day 5, and what's noticeably different? It's not blazingly hot anymore.
Yet.
Right now it's lovely.
It's like home, but...
Posing for pictures? Are you ready for the challenge of the cliff dwellings?
Or better yet, a contestant has to survive on a program, and they stuck you in Mesa Verde. What would be your first concern? Keep it in mind, and when we get down, we'll talk about it at the canyon. Surviving on Mesa Verde.
Water.
Water. You got it. Anybody see a river, stream,
No.
pond, lake, swimming pool? No. Farview doesn't even have a swimming pool. This is a very dry mesa. As a matter of fact, the ancestral Puebloans came up here and they lived for hundreds of years. And they're just like you. Without water in 3 days, you start dying. Where did they get their water to stay here?
Seep Springs.
Well, actually, the truth is it's in the geology. Look across you. See the canyon wall? That's all sandstone, and you're standing on sandstone right now. It has some unique properties. 150 million years ago, this whole area was under an ocean. And when it kept changing depths, when it was deep, it made shale. When it was shallow, it made sandstone. And it changed a couple of times. And then it got pushed up into the Colorado Plateau. And when it did that, we wound up with multiple levels of sandstone and shale. Now, sandstone, it has a property of being porous. In other words, when the snow lays up on the mesa during the winter and melts slowly, it seeps into the rocks and actually starts traveling through the rocks. It can take it up to 3 years to get down, but it goes down till it hits a shale level, which is not permeable, and it starts moving laterally. When it does, it comes outside the canyon into seep springs and seep wells. And these things provided the drinking water and the cooking water for the ancestral Puebloans. Now in 450 AD, when they came up onto the mesa, they were hunter-gatherers. They were basically chasing the game around, killing what they could, and basically harvesting the wild vegetation to survive. And they were very good at it. As a matter of fact, my favorite instruction is to tell you about the yucca. Yucca has a white flower in the spring that's edible, tastes a little like orange. Then it produces a fruit like a banana. When cut and roasted, it tastes a little sweet. But what's real important is those leaves. If roasted, it hit with a hammer, it produces a string that they can make into twine, that they can make into rabbit snares, they can make into ropes. They could also make it into sandals, because walking on these cold rocks is very painful in the winter. They also made bed mats that they could sleep on, once again to keep them off the snow. Make sure those cell phones are put away before you start up the ladder.
Hey, Dad.
Hold on, Cole.
Last person dropped the cell phone, nailed the guy right in the forehead. I don't want that to happen.
It's good YouTube material.
I need you guys to start moving
Yes.
through that tunnel.
Hey, Dad.
Huh?
Get to climb.
And I'll get behind him.
Yep. Go ahead, and take the pack off.
Climb up the...
Keep going.
This is hard. We're up. This is really cool. Look at this.
Wow.
I knew it would be small, but not this small.
There's the ladder. What do you think,
Oh my
Nana?
God.
What do you think, Nana?
Oh, I don't mind the ladder. The tunnels got me a little worried. But
There's another tour group down there.
I thought when he said stairs, he meant stairs.
I didn't see you. We'll just introduce you. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Jim. He is a volunteer. He makes this job a heck of a lot easier.
Don't go too fast, Mike. Oh, I can see the other side.
It smells good in here.
Yeah, used to be a lot of fire in here.
I can see the other side.
Yeah.
One family.
Don't go SIVA diving.
Just sort of bunch up and move into that area. We need to get as many people around the Kiva as we can. Some people can come over here with me if they like. It's about their religion or their belief system. They believe they came from the underworld, under the earth, to the surface. This is the fourth level of existence for them. And to celebrate their origins, we believe they built the Kiva to go down into the earth for ceremony. In other words, they're taking themselves back into the earth from their origins. The little hole you see on the floor is referred to as a sipapu. And a sipapu is like a religious icon to remind them they're connected to the underworld. Now, the Kiva would have had a roof on it. And the roof would have been structured so that we could all stand on it without it collapsing. And they would take a log and they go from one paluster, or column if you will, to another paluster all the way around. Then they come back with a second course from the center of the log to the center of the log to the center of the log all the way around. And they keep repeating that. And they wound up getting a conical shaped roof. Then they would take brush and put it down on top of the cribbing, and they would fill it with dirt until they got to the level of about where we are now. Then they coat it with clay and let it harden in a hard surface. There'd also be a 2x2 hole in the center with a ladder through it, and that's how you got in and out of the Kiva. Remember when we talked about the pit house? There's a lot of similarities here. We think that the pit house was the prototype for the Kiva. Now, we do believe that the Kiva was utilitarian. In other words, it wasn't just used for ceremony. We think that in the bitter cold winter, when firewood's at a premium, that everybody went into the Kiva to stay warm. Now the Kiva is associated with a clan, not just a family. So aunts, uncles, the extended family would go into this Kiva or belong to this Kiva. Now, if you put a small fire down in the bottom of a Kiva, you got to get air to it or else it ain't going to stay. And they were ingenious. See this vent over here, this hole? It goes all the way to the bottom and it comes out on the floor of the Kiva. And when warm air rises from the fire up through the ladder hole, fresh air is being sucked down through that, comes out through that hole, hits that wall, which is called a deflector, and it sends the air around the Kiva and not directly onto the fire. Pretty ingenious ventilation system. Now you've also got banquettes or shelves, so that generally means ceremony. The little niches you see, they found various things in them, religious as well as personal. So they're probably just storage niches that were built into the Kiva. This one we can't figure out. This is called the Kiwi, and what's surprisingly is it only exists in the Kivas inside Mesa Verde. It's not universal throughout the Puebloan community. What they used it for, we don't know. Everybody speculates mine is a 60-inch color screen TV. The thing is that one of the problems we've got is that children did not live, 50% of the kids did not live past age 5. When that happens, your average lifespan comes way, way down. So some have quoted it at 37, some have quoted it at 42 for men and 31 for women. 7-year difference between men and women, which is the exact reverse of today. Probably indicating that women had a harder life back then than they do today.
Careful.
I love that.
You have no idea how lucky you are.
But in retrospect, I've been told by anthropologists that in the Kiva, the young lady wanted to marry. She would have to go outside the Kiva to find a boy. And she'd go to another Kiva and bring him back to her Kiva. And he'd work for her, work in their fields, and be part of her Kiva family. But the thing is if she wanted to divorce him, all she had to do was set his stuff outside the door, and that was it. No lawyers, go back to mom. See,
So that really hadn't
a little bit
changed.
for both.
Yeah, that really hadn't changed much, I
You're a
guess.
different
All right,
guy.
one of the things they did was they domesticated turkeys, and turkeys would be wandering through the dwelling. They ate the eggs and they took the feathers and made them into blankets to keep warm. Another thing is the mono and matata. This is one of their downfalls. The women would kneel, they'd put their feet against this wall for purchase so that they could push the mono, the moving part, over the matata and grind the corn. The problem was, they were grinding the sandstone of the matata into the corn. So when they ate it, they were wearing their teeth down. And when we uncovered bodies, we found nothing but bad teeth, rotten teeth, because the sugar in the corn helps with that. So the thing is that if you have bad teeth, you don't live too long. There are a bunch of diseases associated with that. Another thing is they threw their waste, the human waste, over the edge, kept it in the air. And that's another bunch of diseases that came down. So they had pinworms, dysentery, stuff like that, normal diseases found with lack of sanitation. Not uncommon, at the same time in Europe, they were throwing their waste out the window into the street, and they had the exact same type of diseases. There's nothing special there. But what you notice here is that you've got a creative society that started out as hunter-gatherers and then grew into a society that could build cities, like Cliff Palace, and like the other dwellings that we have. So they're very creative, and if you get a chance to go to the Chapman Museum, you can see what the women contributed to. They got into pottery and designs in the pottery. They were so good at it that when people came through with trade goods, they could use the pots in trade goods. So if you go to the Chapman Museum, you'll see some stuff on display there. And I think it will impress you with what the women added to the society. Okay. Any questions?
Where did they bury their Oh, this is such a great one. Yes, this is going to be so fun.
This goes into the list of crazy things we make Nana do. We're keeping you young, Nana.
Yeah. But I'm going to live a mighty long time.
I don't want it all on my
Keep talking to me, Cole.
Not at first hips, let me tell you that.
Glad you said that, not me. I got a great GoPro shot from right here.
Shut up. Why do I keep getting all the great videos?
Ow.
Hey, Em, can you wait a second?
This hole would have been a lot bigger had they not put all these rocks in the way.
Mike, so thank Nana wants her sunglasses out of your pack. Let's see about these stairs, man. Those stairs are
Oh my. Yeah, I'm not going to enjoy that part.
Oh, and there's another ladder at the top.
Yeah, so this is the cliff that we just climbed up on a rickety little ladder. What you think, Ian?
I like that.
Huh? Worth it?
That. Yeah. You like that too? I think that's all I can do today.
That's it? You're done?
Yeah.
That's good, I think. Well, no, we got 4 corners we got to do. Here we are at our first honest-to-God tourist trap on this trip.
First what?
Honest-to-God tourist trap. And we've got Gaia GPS open because we've heard rumor that the monument is about 20 feet in the wrong spot. So we're going to check it. Here we are in the biggest tourist trap on our trip. Big line. Still don't know if it's in the right spot. We've dispelled the myth. According to the USGS topo map and GPS,
It's in the right place.
it is in the right spot. Dead on the right spot. So the myth that it's not, we have
Is
dispelled
not true.
with modern technology.
We busted the myth.
Busted. Myth busted.
Myth.